Welcome, all you out there in the fam squad or squad fam or the family fam squad fam. My name's Chase, aka Chase Talks, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Let's Learn VGC 2018. Hopping right into our first battle, still using this Hurricane team. It looks like we're facing off against a Pheromosa, a Tapu Lele, a Garchomp, a Gyarados, a Driftbloom, and a Magnezone. So we got the Driftbloom Tapu Lele combo. That's going to be really irritating, and no fun to play against. Says the guy that just used it in his last team. But I think I'm going to lead BAKAWA and Grundy, get that extra speed. Allows me to lay down that extra pressure. And then I like the ability to cycle Intimidates against this team. And I kind of want to do Strike twice, but at the same time, I feel I kind of like Scion. I actually kind of like... Oh, the taunt will go off first. Yeah, you know what? I am going to lead. I'm going to have Strike twice in the back. So he does decide to lead the Tapu Lele. Actually, Magnezone. I did not expect him to lead Tapu Lele Magnezone by any means. We do not see the Magnezone on a air balloon, so that's good. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to switch into Cloud9, I think. I'm going to protect and see what he wants to do, actually, and I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to go for an Earthquake. So my Protect goes first, so we do not see a Protect. Earthquake goes off. That does good amount of damage, and actually brings Magnezone down to its sturdy. I get Psychic. That nearly takes me out, but it's not going to be enough, and I ended up protecting, which ended up being the right decision. So here what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go for a... I can hit 123. I'm at 85. I may outspeed the Magnezone. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go for... Yeah, I think my best play is just switch into Cloudcat. And to go, because I kind of want to just double into Lele to get the Lele kill. You know, I think I'm going to do that. I'm going to Scald into the Lele slot, and I'm going to go for another Earthquake. So he actually decides to protect. Earthquake goes off. Is it going to be enough? It's barely not going to be enough, but that's okay. So I'm going to lose my Grundy, but I made the right play here to Scald. That will go out, and Tapu Lele is out of play. I'm going to bring in... I'm going to bring in my Strike twice here. The main reason I want to bring that instead is because I still want him to target BAKAWA with that. And he actually makes the right read. I'm going to switch into Cloudcat to get that Intimidate off. And I'm just going to go for a I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt. To just KO the Magnezone. I could go for a Heat Wave there, but I really don't want to go for the Heat Wave just because I don't want the chance to miss. And I want to ensure the KO on the Magnezone. I don't want to have this Magnezone stay around any longer than it should. And that'll give me probably a guaranteed KO on it. So switching to Cloudcat, Intimidate goes off. Rock Slide actually goes off from the Garchomp. And it misses my Strike twice, so I don't have to worry about any flinch. And I do end up taking out his Magnezone. That puts me in a good position. We're currently 3-2, and his last Pokemon is the Gyarados. Now, I'm worried about his Gyarados, that's for sure. I kind of want to switch into BAKAWA here to recycle my Intimidate. And I'm going to set up a Tailwind. Because I have a feeling that he's going to double into the Gyarados slot, and I don't really need Pelipper at this point. And getting the Intimidate is going to be really important. So he actually goes for a Sword Stance, so cycling my Intimidate was the right play. And so was that. So at this point, I'm just going to go for a Scald into the Garchomp slot, and I'm going to go for a Thunderbolt into the Gyarados slot. Gyarados, the Thunderbolt should take it out, and it is, so Gyarados is out of play. Scald's going to go off. If I get a burn, that'd be awesome. And it actually is a 2-hit KO. Ooh, he actually doesn't KO either of us. So I am going to get the KO this turn because I am faster than this Garchomp. I'm just going to Heat Wave, and that he is going to try and stall out my Tailwind. But that doesn't matter. He'd actually have to get it for 2 turns, and then he'd have to have the ability to knock out both my Pokemon, which I guess he does have. But I seriously doubt that he's going to get that opportunity. So I'm just going to go straight for the Heat Wave. He does not get the double protect. Scalds and Heat Wave is going to go off, and that's definitely going to be enough to KO it. So we do take out the Garchomp, and we end up winning our first game of the day. So that brings us 1-0 in the day. I'm going to cut until we are in our second battle of the day. Hopping into our second battle of the day, we're facing off against a Latias. It's actually the first Latias I've ever seen in VGC 2018. A Buzzwole, a Landorus-t, a Raichu, a definitely not Mega Audino, and a Cloyster. Now see, this is the teams that I'm talking about when I'm like, where's all the fun, interesting teams? And this is a fun, interesting team that I never see. I know he's going to lead Raichu, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'll put Cloudcat and I'll put, I think Pineapple, because I'm worried about his Cloyster. Cloudcat's for the Raichu coverage and also Intimidate on his Buzzwole and his Landorus-t. And then I just want to lead Grundy BAKAWA because put down decent pressure on his team, excuse me. And then, yeah, I think Pineapple's going to be my best play because he really doesn't have any electric weakness, and Heat Wave isn't going to really do anything against his team either. He does end up leading the Raichu Cloyster, which I kind of thought he would do. So what I can do here is, do I expect him to go straight for the KO on BAKAWA? Oh, and go for a Tailwind, and then go for an Earthquake? Or do I, you know what, I'm going to Protect, and I'm going to go for a Mega Evolve, and I'm going to go for Earthquake. I feel like that's the safest play I could make. I know I could take a Grass Knot here, or a Fake Out, so I do end up taking a Fake Out. So definitely my best play there would have been to go for the Tailwind, and it's going to be skill linked, isn't it? Ooh, it barely doesn't take me out. I'm going to outspeed and go for an Earthquake this turn. So I'm going to have to switch into Cloudcat. And you know what? Instead of switching into Cloudcat, I think I'm going to go into Pineapple. And then I'm going to go for another Earthquake. I really need to get rid of his Raichu. And that does take out his Raichu. That's good. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. So Icicle Spear does end up taking me out, but that's okay. I got rid of like the big threat that I needed to get rid of. And, sorry, I have a reset up on my, Ultra Moon right now, sitting in front of me. I got a resetting for nature on a Lycanroc Dusk, or really, well, it's a, I'm gonna go into Cloudcat. Really, it's not a Lycanroc Dusk. It's a, oh my gosh, Own Tapo Rockwolf, which evolves into it. I'm trying to get a good nature on my Ultra Moon, so that I have one with a good nature and Celebrate. What I expect him to do here is to go into my Cloudcat slot. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for a Giga Drain into his Cloyster. And I'm going to switch into my BAKAWA. So I'm expecting him to go for the Icicle Crash into that. It's actually Mega Latios with Ice Wind. It's actually the first Mega Lati I've seen. I was actually thinking about this the other day. I wasn't 100% sure if the Latis were banned. I was actually faster than the Cloyster. But that's the thing that I actually probably should have looked, because I was like, I should build a team with the Latis on it if it's not like, it's not banned. I could actually build a team with both Latis on it if it's not banned. I thought that'd be kind of cool. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to Mega Evolve, and I'm going to go for the Hydro Vortex on Buzzwole. Or not Mega Evolve, I'm going to go Z-Power is what I clicked on, and Hydro Vortex onto the Buzzwole slot. And then I'm going to switch into Cloudcat. My main reason for switching into Cloudcat here is because it cycles the Intimidate. Now, do I want to do that? But I want to go for a Tailwind here. I'm going to go for a Tailwind. So he ends up Calm Minding. That's going to be a problem. Leech Life goes off, and it is enough to KO me. Dang. But I am going to get the Tailwind off, so that's good. So Cloudcat comes in. I'm going to negate that Beast Boost. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to go for a Knockoff. You know what? I'm going to go for a Rock Slide, I think, and I'm going to go for a Hurricane into the Buzzwole. So Rock Slide goes off. Does it miss the Buzzwole? It misses the Buzzwole! Oh, man, that's huge. That Icy Wind does big damage. Oh, man, that sucks. Hurricane goes off, but Hurricane is enough to KO it, so we're not done yet. We are not out of the game. I'm going to go for a Knockoff into Latias. I'm going to die to this Icy Wind, I know, but that's okay. And I'm going to go for a Hurricane. Is Hurricane going to do more damage, or Scald's going to do more damage? I think Hurricane's going to do more damage, so I'm going to go for Hurricane. So Knockoff goes off. That does about 40% damage. That's okay. Icy Wind does KO my Cloudcat, but it's going to be up to whether or not Hurricane does take it out right here, and it's not enough damage, but I do Confuse. So if it hits itself in Confusion, I can still win. That's my main win condition. What I'm actually going to do is Protect to try and get a Confusion turn off. And he has Recover Ooh, I lost here. Yeah, there's nothing I can do when he goes for recover. So he's just going to stall me out. That's unfortunate. We had a win condition, and then he's just going to stall me out. So I'm going to end up losing this game, probably. It did hurt itself in confusion, but yeah, that's not going to be enough. Even if I'd get the burn there, I just went there for the burn. But that's definitely not going to be enough. I'm going to go for another protect to see like he can hit himself in confusion again, but I'm assuming he's just going to protect. Confusion ends, or I'm assuming he's just going to go for recover. I'll go for another Scald. But the confusion ended, so I had a win condition, and him having recover just negated that win condition. I of course know that Latias gets recover, but I expected him to just go for the KO. I didn't expect for him to try and like stall out my Pelipper, which is unfortunate, but that's okay. I mean, you got to play best to your win condition, so I'm not faulting him for stalling, for going for the stallier option rather than going for the kill. Because if he didn't hit himself in confusion, I would have died anyway. So I know he probably expected me to protect there, that's why he went for the recover, but if he didn't expect me to protect, he could have just went for the cover just for the sole purpose of recovering up, even though he knew that any attack could kill me when he's a +1 at that range. We saw how much Icy Wind was doing to me. There was really no reason for him to do that. So I thought that's why protect was my best play. So he could have predicted my protect, and that'd be good. Otherwise, he just kind of recovered for no reason. Because it was up to confusion was whether or not I was going to win that match. Otherwise, it was a secured win for him. All right, so I'm going to cut until we're in our third and final match of the day. Hopping into our third and final match of the day, and I guess the game wanted us to stop having fun because we were facing a full standard team. Boo, boo, full standard, boo, get out of here. Get out of here with your Snorlax and your Cresselia and your Mega Charizard Y and your Landorus-T and your Kartana and your Tapu Koko. Boo! Boo, boo. Get out of here with your full standard shenanigans. I'm going to go BAKAWA and Grundy because I'm unoriginal. And then I'm going to go... Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go BAKAWA, and then I'm going to go Cyan, and I'm going to put Grundy in the back. And because I want to get a parting shot into Grundy on something, and then I'm going to... I think I need Cloud Cat. I brought Strike twice for Kartana, I think twice. And that Kartana's never been brought against me, which is weird because I have a Mega Swampert. So I'm just going to bring Cloud Cat. I'm not going to think about it. And he leads Kartana. So you know what? Totally faulted. Exactly what I thought he was going to do. And you know what? Now he's probably going to set the sun on top of that. I'm going to go ahead and Hurricane into the Kartana slot. And I will go ahead and knock off into the Kartana slot. Let's just double into that slot. And he does protect as he... Ooh, double protects the scout out and see what I'm doing. He does not change the weather. Interesting. Well, I'm going to go for another... That would have been a good turn to set up Tailwind. I'm going to go for a... Same play. So he does Mega Evolve into Mega Charizard Y. I'm going to knock off his... Ooh, it's a Z move. Z Tailwind, so he gets his focus energy up to get those extra crits. That actually misses, and ooh, wow, that does a lot of damage. And Hurricane hits! Hurricane hits! Hurricane hits, and it ends up picking up our kill. Oh, man, that moment when it feels so good. I'm going to Scald into his Mega Charizard right now. You know what? I'm going to switch into Cloud Cat, actually. And I'm going to go ahead and... I outspeed his Mega Charizard. So I'm going to go for a Z knockoff. I'm going to Scald. I'm going to just go for a regular knockoff into the Cresselia. I want to get rid of the Cresselia's item. So I do get the knockoff off. What item is that? That item was an Iapapa Berry, so that's exactly what I was worried about. Hopefully I get a burn here. I get no burn. Oh, man, this is terrible. So I'm going to switch into Cloud Cat here. And I'm going to go ahead and taunt into the Snorlax. Hopefully he sets up here. He actually ally swaps, and I taunt into the Cresselia, which is, I guess, equally good. Okay. So I guess that was equally good for me. I'm going to go ahead and Superpower into the Snorlax, and I'm going to Z Parting Shot into... Do I want a Z Parting Shot? Yeah, I'm going to Superpower, and I'm going to Z Parting Shot into the Snorlax. So Frustration goes off. It takes out my Cyan, so he's going to tank a Superpower here. That Superpower does a good amount of damage. Another one is going to be enough to take it out. Icy Wind goes off, which slows me, which I still don't get why when you have a Trick Room team, you're running speed control. Makes 0 sense. I don't understand why people do that. my team's gonna go slower. So I'm going to go ahead and Superpower Scald. So he does switch to get rid of this rain, which I expect him to do. That's okay. Frustration goes off. That is enough to KO me. That's unfortunate. My Scald's going to go off. That Scald is not going to do much damage. Grundy's going to come in here, and I cannot reset the rain, which sucks. So I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve, and I'll Waterfall into the Snorlax, and I'm going to Scald also into the Snorlax. So Frustration goes into my Pelipper. That is enough to take me out. That's okay. Waterfall is going to go out. That is just barely not enough to take out his Snorlax. And I'm going to die to a Solar Beam. That's okay. I figured the Charizard carried Solar Beam anyway. And without the ability to reset my rain, there was no way I was going to be able to kill the Charizard. Unless I would have went Waterfall into the Charizard, but there's a chance that wouldn't have KO'd. Still, worst thing about the enemy team that I faced was Icy Wind. It makes absolute zero sense to me why people run Icy Wind on a Trick Room Cresselia. Why would you want to make the enemy team slower when you are running a Trick Room option? That makes no sense. I get it. So it's like the rest of his Pokemon, but don't run a Trick Room option then with the Snorlax. Just run Icy Wind to make your opponent slower, so Snorlax doesn't need to be faster. Like, why set up Trick Room there? Like, if I wasn't in the sun, I would have killed this Charizard there because I'm faster than his Charizard when his own Trick Room is up. That makes no sense. I don't know why people do that. Here's the PSA of this episode, and this is not me being salty. I did do a salty PSA once, but do not run Icy Wind and Trick Room. It makes zero sense. Run Ice Beam. Still ice coverage for the Landorus. Does more damage than Icy Wind does, and there's no reason to make Landorus slower or any other Pokemon slower when you're in Trick Room. Because if you hit a Pokemon that is already slower, that is faster than you, and make them slower than you, they will now go first under your own Trick Room. And you could lose a Trick Room sweeper because you're trying to make the enemy slower. Makes no sense. Now, when the Trick Room ends and you pull out a not Trick Room Pokemon, I get your advantage right there. But cool, then run Icy Wind instead of Trick Room and make enemies and focus on making the enemy slower with you having Tailwind and you having Icy Wind rather than making yourself faster. You have Z Tailwind and you have Icy Wind. There's no reason you should have Trick Room on this team. It makes zero sense they use Trick Room. And you could say, oh, well, it worked in this case. Well, it didn't need to work in this case. He could have done the same thing with the Tailwind. Like, Snorlax outspeeding me wasn't in a situation where it mattered in that game at all. I had lost once I couldn't reset the rain because there was no way that I don't think I would have killed Charizard. A Waterfall power down in the sun, I don't think would have OHKO'd the Charizard. Depending on how tanky the Charizard is, it could have. But I don't think it would have. And like that could have been a misplay on my part, and it could have turns out that I would have KO'd it. But yeah, so if you're gonna run, I get speed control is very important, but don't mix Trick Room with Tailwind and Icy Wind. Because you're using Icy Wind to make the enemy slower, you're using Tailwind to make you faster, and then you're setting up Trick Room, which makes the slowest Pokemon go first. So you made yourself faster and them slower, and now you're setting up Trick Room. Makes no sense. Don't do that. That is not a good strategy. Run Ice Beam. Or don't run Trick Room. And put like Moonlight on it instead. Run like Moonlight, Icy Wind, Psychic, and you could even put a screen on that set if you wanted to. If you didn't want to have Trick Room as your last move, you could totally put Icy Wind. Or you could put regular Ice Beam. You could do Icy Wind, Ice Beam, Moonlight, and Psychic. And Moonlight's going to be boosted because you're in the sun, so you're going to get more recovery. It's like Synthesis. So yeah, so that's what you should do. That's how his team would have been better. I know I lost this game and I'm focusing on what the enemy could have done better, but I just don't understand why you would make the enemy slower and yourself faster and then set up Trick Room. That is like, yes, speed control is important, but you're mixing up your speed control and your speed juice. That's not a good idea. Alright, so thanks for watching. Remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe so you never miss another episode of Chase Talks. Until next time, this is Chase, signing off.